That was the Buzzcocks, and Never Fallen in Love with Someone That You Shouldn't Have. And the most embarrassing thing that's happened to me here at the BBC was when I was doing the show that we did on Radio 5 last year, and we actually had the Buzzcocks playing live in our studio, which for me was a huge and a massive thrill.
And what a coup.
And a bit of a coup as well. And they actually played Ever Fallen in Love with Someone That You Shouldn't Have. And the two main people in the Buzzcocks, Pete Shelley and Steve Diggle, walked over to the table where I was about to interview them, and I forgot their names. I completely forgot their names. These people were like absolute gods to me, and I called them Pete Shelley and the other one.
Got out of it smoothly, though, I thought there.
I did. I got out of it smoothly, and Mike was saying, Steve Diggle, he's called Steve Diggle.
How could you forget a name like that?
Anyway, there we are. Some work to win for the new show, and come back soon from Carl Newton. Thank Chris Elston. And can we have the Worm song again from Diana in Leamington? Afraid not. No, Mandy, unfortunately. She's on tour in a play. She is that successful actress. Now, one of my favourite people that I interviewed was Richard E. Grant, who, as you know, is opened on Friday in Pret-a-Porter.
Oh, thank you.
Robert Altman's new movie, and I accosted him when he was appearing on Daytime Live and said, please, would you be on my programme? The week before, I'd actually seen him on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and he was really wonderful and really cool and really groovy and really funny and dead good looking. And I was sitting there at home with my sad little life and thinking, just think, I'll never ever meet him. The next week he was on Pebble Mill, and I actually said to him, Richard, it was great, because I saw you on Oprah Winfrey last week, and I told him this story, and he said, I've never been on Oprah Winfrey. And I said, yes, you have. And he'd completely forgotten being on the Oprah Winfrey Show.
Huh? But he hasn't forgotten being on this show.
He hasn't forgotten being on Samantha Sunday Night Party. This was about 3 years ago I interviewed him, and a friend of mine had to interview him last weekend for something else, and he remembered this programme. So here is the wonderful Richard E. Grant.
Horse, oh, Mr. Famous Actor.
I just scrape you off the floor. Oh, she is a jelly, my darling. Oh. She is sort of quivering on the floor. Come on, Ian, help me, get her out. So she
goes at the end of every programme.
I'm now in the wonderful position of having money in the bank, the mortgage paid, and I'm going off next week to meet Sylvester Stallone and all the girls at the premiere of Hudson Hawk, which will be a major
showbiz party.
So all this is going on, and you sit there like a big dork in the third row, thinking, I wonder how much her jewellery has cost, or whether she's fallen asleep, or whether she's going to have a big blub, or. And then everybody at the end of these premiere things goes completely quiet, like you sort of got leprosy of the mouth, as she walks out, and this poor young woman, who's, she looks enormously tall, has to sort of walk out with all these old farts, saying, oh, this way later, Diana. And then she gets back into the car and, off to Kensington Palace, probably sort of for reruns of Neighbours on video later.
That's where she's going.
Girls, we'll be good. Well, I'm afraid my wife and my 2.5-year-old will be coming along with me.
It's okay, I could just go and live in your suitcase.
Well, you're small enough to fit into the hand luggage.
I know this from bitter experience, Richard.
The difference between Hollywood and BBC Scotland is that BBC Scotland, you're asked to go on a sort of great donkey worth of travel to get up there, so it could take 2 days, whereas if they fly you to America, it's first class with continuous handmaiden service.
Richard E. Grant, thank you very much for that neat ending to the interview, Ian. It was marvellous. Thank you, very glad. Thank you very much for that, Paul. Now, when the show very first started, Jay Patel drove the programme.
He did.
And my sidekick was a mysterious man called Carson. Carson, are you there?
I am indeed, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
I was rather enjoying listening to that interview. It's the worst edit I've heard in British broadcasting at the end of that.
That's one, Ian.
Presumably they had to lift the needle off the record, and it went a little bit wrong.
How dare you?
I think it did. Now, Carson, now, as far as I can remember, where did you live? Did you live in the bowels of the BBC?
Something like that. It was, I was thinking about this today. It's 6 years. It was February 1989 you began, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
You probably talked about this before. So I've forgotten all the details now, really.
Oh, really?
Completely forgotten all the details.
But Carson, I mean, you had to leave the programme. You were pensioned off.
That's right, yes.
And I'm just interested to know what you're doing now, really.
Well, what I'm doing now is I'm standing in a bath full of custard in a pair of jeans that has got a slight split in them.
Right.
and waiting for the police to arrive, really.
Left the programme.
That's right, yeah. Is because I just started a small corner shop that was financed by someone, I think his name was Nick Leeson. You may have heard of him. He's been in the press, and rather sinister sort of Singaporean figures have been hanging around the house and looking rather cross.
I guess for the last 6 years, you've been, investing all of the money you made on Samantha's Sunday Night Party and building up a business.
Yes, which reminds me, I'm sure that Radio WM owes me 25 quid.
Does it?
I forget what for, but for some train fare, perhaps, long ago.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll have a word with someone about that, shall I?
Incidentally, on this Nick Leeson business, I don't know whether the tabloid newspapers have been doing it or not, but has anybody used the headline yet with the phrase "losing his bearings"?
I don't think they have. No.
What's going wrong with British journalism?
I don't know. I don't know.
Obvious pun, and that nobody's actually done it. What's happening to Fleet Street's finest?
I don't know. Maybe their brains.
Catherine Cookson's The Buccaneers.
Right.
And the attempt here is to make The Buccaneers into an interesting and exciting popular television programme.
Oh, right.
In which somebody's bodice gets ripped in the first 5 minutes, rather than everybody having to hang around for 5 weeks or whatever it's been, while people have been having cups of tea and being polite to each other. I then want to go on and to do Catherine Cookson's Howard's End.
Right.
Which is where there's actually cannibalism in the first 5 minutes.
Well, the worst thing you ever did to me, Carson, since I met you, was actually taking me to see that movie.
I remember that vividly. It was at the old Plonker Cinema in Bartley Green, I think it was, or wherever it was.
And Angela Rippon was there. Do you remember?
Was she there?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. She wasn't in the film, though, was she?
No, she wasn't in the film. She was in the audience.
What?
She was in the audience, not in the film.
Was she really? I didn't notice that. I was just aware of these waves of hate coming over me. After the sort of the credits had ended and everybody had their first cup of tea and had their first meaningful look, I was just aware of these waves of hatred coming at me because I'd made you go and see that film. Revenge, though, because you took me to see True Lies, that Schwarzenegger thing.
I did.
Not so much a film, more a fascist rally.
Anyway, on Samantha's Sunday Night Party changed your life?
Well, it had a very profound effect, actually. Mm-hmm. It made me impotent for 5 years, and I lost 2 inches off my height.
I'm so glad you said height then.
And I'm still trying to rectify both of them.
Oh, well, Carson, it's been a thrill to have you on the line. We've missed you very much.
Well, it's been a joy talking to you again, Samantha, after all this time.
I know. I'll probably speak to you tomorrow, babe. Okay. Talk to you soon, David.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, ciao. Now, probably the best act we've had on the programme ever was the Bare Naked Ladies, and here they are with one of the nice singles from their first album. First of all, thanks for 6 years of sublime brilliance, says Jeremy in Wolverhampton. Thank you for saying that, Jeremy. Here are the Bare Naked Ladies and If I Had $1 Million.